Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning, Mantini. We are from Group 2 with me, Rona Elizabeth Tambunan, and my partner, Evinur Aini, and today we will present our discussions about CMI, or Computer Mediated Instructions. In today's era, technology is developing very rapidly and has changed many aspects of our life, including the way we learn. In the past, learning usually happened in a classroom where students listen to the teacher and follow the material. However, with the massive growth of the digital technology, learning is no longer limited to physical classroom. And because of this development, a learning approach emerged that integrates technology directly into the learning process. And this approach is called computer mediated instruction, or CMI. So CMI, or computer mediated instruction, is a language learning approach that uses computers, digital technology, or software to support the learning process. In CMI, technology is not only used to deliver materials, but also to help learners think, interact, and build knowledge. Students are no longer passive learners. Instead, they become an active participants who can choose their learning resources, such as maybe articles, videos, online forums, and digital platforms, and learn collaboratively with teachers and peers. So, why is it popular actually? Next slide, please. CMI replace teacher-centered and monotonous learning with a more interactive, collaborative, and flexible learning environment. They can learn anywhere and anytime. And in practice, CMI allows both synchronous and asynchronous interactions. Synchronous interactions happen when teachers and students are online at the same time, for example, through Zoom meetings, live presentations, or real-time discussions. And on the other hand, asynchronous interactions allow learning to happen at the different times, such as through emails, discussion forums, blogs, or pre-recorded video lessons. And this flexibility helps learners to study at their own pace and support different learning styles. And CMI also provide access to authentic learning materials, such as video of native speaker and real online communication. As supported by Yosafi and Nasaji, a researcher, shows that computer-mediated instruction is more effective in improving learning pragmatic competence than traditional face-to-face learning. This is because CMI offers more authentic communication, increased interactions, and encourage fair participations. And later on, these benefits could increase learner motivation as supported by Adara and Hakia researchers. So that is CMI, and that is why it has been popular lately. It supports the communicative and pragmatic dimension of language learning, preparing learners for the demands of digital and global communication in the 21st century. Next one will be presented by my friend Effie.
All right, this slide explains the theoretical foundations of computer-mediated instruction. CMI is grounded in three main theories, which is input-output theory by Krashen and Swain, sociocultural theory by Vygotsky, and contractivist theory influenced by Bakhtin. This theory explains how technology supports language learning through input-output interaction and reflection. First, from a psycholinguistic perspective, Krashen input hypothesis emphasized the importance of comprehensible input. Computer-mediated environments provide learner with rich input through text, audio, video, and multimedia materials. Meanwhile, Swain's output hypothesis complements the view by stating that learner also develop language by producing it. Activities such as online discussions encourage learners to produce output, notice gaps in their language, and reflect on their use of language. And then there is sociocultural perspective based on Vygotsky, which views learning as social mediated process. In CMI, technology enables interaction, collaboration, feedback, and learning with the zone of proximal development, or ZPD. In addition, CMI is influenced by contractivist and dialogue views of learning, drawing on Bakhtin's ideas. Written text in computer-mediated environments function as thinking tools that allows learners to reflect, revise, and collaboratively construct meaning. And for this reason, CMI can act as a cognitive amplifier that combines interaction and reflection. And for the next slide, CMI assumptions about second language learning. First, CMI assumes that Second language learning developed most effectively through active meaning focused interaction mediated by technology. Learners acquire language by using it to communicate, not by passively receiving input. And then, second, CMI assumes that language development is strengthened when learners modify their output after receiving feedback. Corrective feedback encourages deeper processing and helps learner improve accuracy. And third, feedback is considered essential in CMI. In text-based computer-mediated instruction, learners can clearly see language forms, reread previous exchanges, and reflect on feedback, which support tithing and learning. And last, CMI assumes that different modes of interaction offer different learning affordance. Text-based interaction support reflection and analysis, while audio and video modes support immediate production. And overall, effective second language learning emerge from the interaction between learners, language, and technology. And for the next slide is our personal opinion about the potential effectiveness of employing CBA in Indonesian school context. For my opinion, I believe that CMI has strong potential to be effective in Indonesian school because it aligns with students' familiarity with digital technology. And today's learners are already familiar to using digital platforms for communication and self-expression. And I think CMI allows language learning to take place within this familiar environment. As a result, students are more engaged and less anxious since learning does not feel disconnected from the everyday digital practices. And CNI also support motivation and participation by providing interactive and multimodal learning experiences, such as text-based interaction, short videos, and online collaboration. And these formats encourage students to use language more actively while reducing the fear of making mistakes, especially compared to face-to-face classroom interaction. And I think that's it for my opinion. And how about you, Rona? What do you think?
Alright, for me, I also believe that CMI is effective for English language learning in Indonesia because it provides, as I said before, authentic and enjoyable learning experience beyond textbooks, allowing students to practice English in real life context. And this also aligns with questions input hypothesis, which emphasize the importance of meaningful and contextual input, and it also consistent with the GBA approach that we discussed before that values contextual learning resources. And for me, through CMI, maybe learners can communicate with people from different countries and use English for live communications. But this effectiveness is depends on the students' digital literacy and um, regarding to not all Indonesian schools are uh, have access to technology. So for rural areas, it would be challenging for them because they have limited internet connectivity and also limited resources such as computer and digital devices. So that's for me. And that's about our discussions. Thank you and see you next time.